Good evening and welcome to the November 20th, 2019 legislative session of the Town Board. We'll officially call the board meeting to order. I'll ask that everyone please rise for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll ask that we please call the roll.
Cole.
Here.
LaFountain.
Here.
Metzler.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Quinn.
Here. We will begin tonight's meeting with communications and announcements, and I would like to first recognize Mr. Moore to the podium, and in the audience we have the president of the Penfield Business Chamber, Marie Cinti, and I'd ask that she please join Councilman Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. It's my honor tonight to introduce Marie Cinti, who is president of the Penfield Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the town board meeting, Marie. Tonight we'd like to celebrate and honor Small Business Saturday. That's November 30th, 2019 here in Penfield. And I'd like to read a couple messages from the proclamation that we'll be presenting Marie. Whereas the town of Penfield recognizes the importance of local small business and the important contributions they make to the local economy and to our community. Whereas 91% of consumers in the United States agree that small businesses contribute positively to the local community by supplying jobs and generating tax revenue. Whereas more than 75% of all consumers plan to shop at one or small businesses as a part of their holiday shopping. Whereas small businesses are critically important to the overall economic health of the town and to the Monroe County and in the United States, highlighting the impact of supporting local businesses in all communities, particularly here in Penfield. Whereas public and private organizations from across the nation, including the Penfield Business Chamber, have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. So now, therefore, be it resolved that Tony LaFountain and the Penfield Town Board of Penfield, New York, do hereby claim Saturday, November 30th, 2019 as Small Business Saturday in the town of Penfield, and certainly urge all of our residents to support small business merchants or Small Business Saturday and throughout the year, because healthy businesses make healthy communities for all. So thank you, Mr. Supervisor, for letting me read this proclamation. I'd like to go ahead and give this to Penfield Chamber President Marie Cinti. Congratulations. Thank you. Would you like to say a couple words?
Thank you.
Welcome, Marie.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tony, and to the town board members for this proclamation, and really thank you for all your support. You've been wonderful advocates for the chamber and all our initiatives. Our small business community is really a vital part of Penfield, and our chamber is becoming more and more involved with Small Business Saturday as a way to promote businesses. We would ask residents, as it's so beautifully said in this proclamation, to think about how you can support small businesses, not just on November 30th, but really throughout the year. It's really more of a mindset than anything else. And just to give you an idea of the impact, when somebody spends just $1 at a small locally owned business, 68 cents, 68% actually stays right here in the community. So these little actions that we can all take really do have an incredibly large impact, and they sustain a community. And I think, again, so beautifully said in the proclamation, when our business community is successful, the entire community benefits. All of Penfield is going to benefit, and we are one Penfield. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care. Thank you, Councilwoman Moore. We'll continue on with our communications and announcements, and I'll recognize the town clerk.
There are still leftover DMP deer management permits, which continue to be issued on a first-come, first-served basis. All applications will be accepted only in person. Applications will not be accepted by phone, mail, or online. Hunters may apply for and receive up to 2 additional DMPs. Applicants with licenses that are exempt from paying a DMP application fee, or hunters who have previously applied for DMPs during this license year will not be charged any additional fees during the extended application period. DMPs are only valid for antlerless deer in wild management units. Also, the Penfield Ecumenical Food Shelf's annual Thanksgiving distribution will be held on Saturday, November 23rd. If you are able, please consider donating a frozen turkey. The Penfield Ecumenical Food Shelf was established in 1997 and was created to meet the needs of Penfield community for those in need of emergency food. The Penfield Ecumenical Food Shelf is 100% donation-based and volunteer-run, and if you can donate a frozen turkey, please email penfieldfoodshelf@gmail.com or contact me at steckloff@penfield.org for more information. And again, that is this Saturday, November 23rd. I'll be there working and handing out some nice turkeys and dinner, and so come by and see me and get your help with volunteering.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Quinn.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. Just a reminder, winter and snowplow rules are currently in effect through April 1st. This means no parking is allowed on all roads and highways between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. to allow highway crews to safely and effectively maintain roads. For more information regarding winter and snowplow rules, please visit penfield.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Metzler.
I have one announcement this evening. The holiday season is a time when individuals are looking to donate to different groups and organizations to help those in need. Matt's Coats for Kids was started by the family and friends of Matthew J. Fitton in the fall of 2004. Matthew lost his life in a tragic car accident in August 2003 at the age of 20. Each year, the organization collects and donates new or gently used coats and other items to area children who need help in keeping warm during the winter months. To date, more than 9,000 items have been distributed. Residents can help keep Matt's memory alive by dropping off winter outerwear at the Town Hall or the Community Center from now until December 2nd. Information about Matt's Coats for Kids is available at www.mattscoats.webs.com or by calling 585-721-5289. And that's all I have for this evening.
Right. Thank you. I have one item. The town offices will be closed on Thursday, November 28th, and Friday, November 29th. That is the Town Hall and DPW. The Penfield Library will close early on Wednesday, the 27th at 5 p.m. and remain closed on Thursday, the 28th. They'll reopen on Friday, November 29th. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Residents may begin reserving Penfield lodges and shelters for the 2020 season on Wednesday, December 4th at 10 a.m. Lodges and shelters can be reserved online or in person. However, we highly recommend reserving it online. You will need Penfield Recreation household account in order to reserve, so please make sure you do this before the December 4th date to avoid any delays. More information on the household account can be obtained at penfieldrec.org. Also, on Saturday, November 16th, this past Saturday, we had a wonderful ribbon cutting ceremony at the new turf field, box lacrosse field at Rothfuss Park. I'd like to thank the parents and the kids that came out. There's a ribbon cutting photo that we're showing on TV right now. Senator Rich Funke certainly was instrumental in securing the funding, $80,000 in state funding secured by Senator Funke, so I'd like to thank him on behalf of the town board, and thank you, Mr. Supervisor, for your efforts in endorsing the town board's efforts in working with our Penfield youth groups, whether it's Penfield Youth Lacrosse or Penfield Soccer, even Penfield Baseball, and so forth, in supporting their initiatives and supporting this effort. This field can be used for lacrosse, field hockey, football, soccer, etc., and it is a huge asset and enhancement not only to Rothfuss Park, but also to the town youth sports. And it was nice to have Heidi Rothfuss there joining us since the field, or since the park is named after her father. which was a nice kind of icing on the cake for this ceremony. So thank you very much for your efforts, and I know the youth sports groups look very forward to using this facility in the upcoming seasons. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Cole?
Excellent. I have one announcement, and that's my monthly community chat will be on December 17th at the new book area at the Penfield Library, if you'd like to come and talk about anything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to public participation. There are 3 ways to address the board on any matter. If you're here in the auditorium, you can address the board at the podium. You can call in at 340-8771, or you can log on at penfield.org. Seeing no one in the audience and no calls coming in, we'll move on. There's a second opportunity to address the board at the end of the agenda. I'll ask, is there any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to our minutes. We do have the October 16, 2019 minutes before us, and would entertain a motion of approval for those minutes.
I move that the minutes of October 16th be approved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Seeing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Petitions. Since our last meeting, has the town board or the town clerk received any petitions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to resolution by function, starting with law and finance.
Authorization for release of a sanitary sewer easement, UE-3, and a multi-use trail easement, PAE-1, located on 777 Panorama Trail.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the owners of the property at 777 Panorama Trail have requested that the town of Penfield release an existing sanitary sewer easement. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Penfield authorizes the supervisor to sign a release of easement in order to abandon an existing sanitary sewer easement and a multi-use trail easement as shown on the map by BME Associates. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion. Seeing no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. 2019 budget transfers for general fund and sewer fund.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas transfer of funds are necessary for anticipated expenditures and reconciliation at year's end. Whereas the town board desires to have an up-to-date budget in relation to current income and expenditures. Now be it resolved that the attached budget transfers are approved. From animal control to medical retiree in $15,000, from retirement to medical retiree for $45,000, from workers' compensation insurance to medical in the amount of $6,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion. Seeing no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Resolution concerning hearing officer report and recommendations in New York State Civil Service Law Section 75 proceeding.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the town board designated Alan Berry as its hearing officer per Resolution 19T-159 to conduct a hearing regarding charges filed against YG pursuant to Section 75 in the New York State Civil Service Law, and to provide the board with a report and recommendations as to whether YG was guilty of some or all charges that were filed, and if so, what penalty would be recommended. Whereas the hearing board officer has provided the board with this report and recommendation dated October 28, 2019, titled Hearing Officer's Recommendation. Whereas each board member has had ample opportunity to review and deliberate upon the transcripts of the Section 75 hearing and all exhibits that were admitted as evidence at the hearing. 2, the post-hearing briefs that were submitted to the hearing officer and the hearing officer's recommendations. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Penfield takes the following action with respect to the hearing officer's recommendation. 1, the board adopts the recommendations of the hearing officer concerning YG's guilt on each of the charges. 2, the board modifies the recommendation of the hearing officer's concerns concerning the penalties as follows. The board finds the misconduct of which YG has been found guilty constitutes moral turpitude and therefore terminates YG's employment immediately. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion? See no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization to advertise for sealed bid proposals for demolition services for the removal and cleanup of 124 Beacon Hills Drive South.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the Penfield Town Clerk is authorized to advertise in the manner prescribed by law, seeking sealed proposals to provide building demolition services for the removal and the cleanup of a site located at 124 Beacon Hills Drive South. And whereas the Building Zoning Code Enforcement Administrator and the Town Board have declared the structure to be hazardous and a threat to public safety, now be it resolved that the services covered by such proposals shall be in accordance with the specifications prepared by the Building and Zoning Administrator. Sealed proposals are to be submitted to the office of the Town Clerk until 11 a.m. Friday, December 13, 2019, and then in there to be opened by the Town Clerk and read publicly.
Thank you. Discussion? See no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. This brings us to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, is there any new business to come before the board this evening? Again, seeing none. This is the second opportunity for public participation. If you're here in the audience, or you can call in at 340-8771. Seeing no one in the audience and no calls coming in, the November 20th, 2019 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board stands adjourned at 7:16 p.m. Thank you for everyone that participated. Thank you to Penfield TV. Have a great